Hello, welcome to the channel. If you haven't been here before, I'm Claire Francis, and on this channel we talk about all things shopping, style and fashion for the midlife woman. Today I've been back into Marks and Spencer's. Actually, I've been there several times, to a bigger store and a smaller local store. I've also been having a good look online as well. Stock levels are a little bit hit and miss at the moment, so I'll fill you in on what's been going on the M&S front. So first of all, I'm just going to show you some footage here from a couple of shopping trips that I've done recently, show you some of the things that I've found. So here we are going into a larger branch of M&S, and you can see there a nice stylish lady coming out in a nice red suit there. And we're looking at the models, so we've got the little cropped burgundy jacket there, quite casual outfits again here, little Henley top, lots of these thicker striped tops like rugby sort of shirt style, some red again, and we've got the little suede blazer as well there, little bomber jacket, sorry. And we've got more of that red there, a short sleeve cardigan there, look quite nice, the red trainers to match. And here we've got the tan suede jacket, which is very similar. I think it's the same as the darker brown suede jacket I showed you a couple of weeks ago. So that's £59. Really nice jacket. Did have some smalls and larges, not many mediums, I don't think. Some jeans there for around £30. And I like this little wool jacket. Well, it looked like a sort of wool mix. I'm not sure if it was. That was really nice. It was £46. Just a simple sort of crop style jacket with the buttons and the pockets on the front there. Then we've got this tan jacket here as well. Now this is a very cropped bomber jacket sort of style, very bright tan. I think you'd need to be the right sort of colouring to wear that. It was, I think, the same price as the other jacket. I think it was £46. Quite an orangey tan though, so I think you need to be a sort of autumnal colouring to make that work. Then here we've got a satin jacket, a bomber jacket again. This felt really nice actually, really nice material. It was £36, which I thought was a good price. And it came in the navy there and the sort of greeny khaki colour. Then we've got the longer barn jackets. Now these come in the navy and the green. They did have this sort of slightly strange toggles on the front here. It was actually, I think, £90, this jacket. But as I said, it's got those sort of snuffle things on the front there, which looked a little bit fiddly. Not sure if I liked those. Then we've got some cropped barn jackets. Again, need to be the right sort of shape to wear those. They've got the two pockets there on the front, the patch pockets. That was £75, I think. They do the green again and they do the navy, so similar colourways to the longer style jacket there. You can see there's the more of the navy ones. They had quite a lot of stock in of those. Then, now this is the different trip now in the smaller M&S. We've got a whole row here of these lovely blue satin pleated skirts. £36 I thought was quite a good price for that. They felt lovely, a bit of an unusual colour as well, not the same as the other colours that were around. Then we've got a striped satin blouse. This was 100% polyester, £26. It does also come in a brown mix, which is a slightly sort of animal print like, but I couldn't see that in store. Then we've got, oh, there's a little red dress there I'm walking past. I think it's got the crew neck, so not that suitable for me, but look nice. And then we've got these, the striped top that goes with the trousers that I showed you in the last M&S haul. So that's the matching top. I think it was £30. Then we've got this lovely little peplum jumper. So it's got the buttons all the way down the front. It's got long sleeves and it's got a rib detail here on the waist and then a little peplum. It's £36, I think. Thought that was quite a good price. It also comes in this lovely sort of dark plum burgundy type of colour, which I thought was nice as well. Both of them nice autumnal colours. Thought that had potential. Liked the little covered buttons there. Then we've got another suede jacket, I think, coming up here. Oh, we've got the striped trousers there. I showed you the lighter colour ones before. That's the black ones. And here we've got the dark brown suedette jacket. So this is the £59 jacket. Again, they had quite a lot of smalls and larges, not many mediums. There was this denim dress as well I thought was quite nice and a good price there. I think that was £40. It's got the sort of slightly puffed sleeves and the little pearlised mother of pearl type of buttons down, and then the sort of full skirt, quite a nice style. Then I spotted these brown cropped trousers. Sorry, they're not cropped, they're sort of ankle length. They're actually a really nice fabric. They're £30 and elasticated at the back, that's the back there, and the front is fairly flat. I'll show you that in a second. You can see they're a slight barrel shape, flat front there and two pockets at the side. Then this is the brown shirt blouse that I showed you last time, but you can see there how see-through it is, and it doesn't have any sort of camisole or undervest. £36, but very sheer and see-through. You'd have to think, I don't think a nude bra would be enough with that really. Then we've got a brown sweatshirt that I think goes with those brown leggings, and that was £30. And then looking along, we've got more of these trainers, then lots of different colours and other accessories. We've also got a little plain pink scoop neck sort of top there. That was, I think, £20. And then we have these lovely suede boots. Now I will do a video on M&S footwear and accessories at some point. These look really nice. They were £70. And now we're going into the try-on section. So this is the satin bomber jacket. I mean, I'm not that keen on bomber jackets, but this one actually felt lovely. It was a really nice fabric. It's got the silver zip there. This was a medium, a little bit snug, but fitted okay. Doesn't really go with the white skirt, but I did like that jacket actually. Then here I've got another jacket I haven't shown you. Now on the left there's a check jacket. This is a beautiful jacket, very sort of Barber-esque sort of style, and it's got the corduroy collar and cuffs. This was a size 10, which was plenty big enough except the sleeves were a bit short. On the right there we've got that barn style jacket with the sort of snaffle fastenings there. Look quite nice as well. I think that was a 12 or a medium that I tried on there as well. And then we've got the peplum cardigan. Now this was really nice, but they only had a small and a large. So this is the small, and it was a little bit tight. I did have a jumper on underneath as well, which didn't help, but it did seem to be clinging a little bit. This was lovely, hung beautifully, this blue satin skirt. Really liked the flow of it. Moved beautifully. I've got some heels on there which were actually in the sale and were about £9, but they're a little bit high for me, but I thought they looked really nice with that skirt and really did flow beautifully. Really nice, I think good price there. And these are the side stripe joggers. These are in the long, because I've got them on with the high heels. They would have been a bit too long otherwise. They were really nice, actually very comfortable, nice thick fabric. Might need to get the shorter size though. This was another pair of trousers I saw, which are the very thin, stretchy, textured fabric. I think they're around £30. They were really nice, but as I said, the fabric is very stretchy and thin. These are the brown, sort of slightly barrel-shaped joggers. Don't look particularly flattering there. I'll show you them later, see if they look a little bit better. I think that might have been the short there. Not sure on the length. This is the cream cardigan I picked up to try on with the trousers. Nice stretchy fabric, a little bit thin, as you can see, a little bit see-through there, but lovely fit. That's the small, it was £35. A little bit see-through, but lovely. So hope you like some of those things that I found there and tried on. Let me know what you think about any of them. Which ones do you think I might have purchased? Just a couple of things to say about M&S. As I said, stock levels are a little bit strange still at the moment. Some people I know have been finding that things sell out online and you can't get hold of anything, but then you go into store and they seem to have a lot of certain things. On the other hand, sometimes you go in store and you find it's all smalls and larges and the mediums are missing, and so it's very hit and miss. And even ordering online, I think I did tell you I actually ordered a brown suede jacket. I waited a week, it didn't arrive. I then had an email saying it was going to be delayed for another week or so. Still didn't hear anything. So eventually I was getting a bit worried that the jacket was going to sell out. So I happened to be in store and I saw one of them, and actually it was only larges and smalls that they had. However, my partner did a bit of a reconnoitre and found a medium on one of the models. So rather embarrassingly, he quickly took it off the model and put a large on there. And then that's how I got my medium jacket. I then phoned up Marks and Spencer's and said, look, you know, I've actually had to buy this item because I'm not sure what's happening. And they actually were very apologetic. And they said, yeah, sorry, we haven't even dispatched it yet. So it was fine. They let me cancel the order and they gave me a £5 voucher as well for the inconvenience. So I did finally get hold of my brown suede jacket. So it's this one, it's suedette, it's not real suede, but it's a lovely fabric, feels very nice, has a nice lining on the inside there, and it's got the dark coloured buttons as well. I will show you that on. So this is the jacket on. You can see the length of it there relative to me. Do like the fit. It's got these little side pockets here that you can actually open them to put your hands in there. As I said, it's got the buttons. You can see there 3 or 4 4 or 5 buttons all the way down there. It's just a fairly sort of straight style. It's not too cropped on me because my waist is about here and it comes down that little bit longer. So I think this is going to be a lovely versatile jacket for the autumn, and I'm just really glad that I managed to get the medium because I think the large would have looked too oversized and the small's a bit tight. So really happy that I actually managed to get this finally. Don't give up, there are lots of them in store, even though I think it's now saying that they're sold out online. I think there was a small left last time I looked, but that was about it. But there are plenty in store still. The mediums are a little bit more difficult to get your hands on though, I have to say. And by the way, I did show you this large suede bag that I got from M&S last week. It did sell out in my local store, but I've just seen they've had some more in, so it is available in store. I'm not sure if it's still available online. Beautiful bag. The only problem is this silver hardware there, I'd preferred it to be gold really. So that's the only thing that's maybe it's got against it. Secondly, I did actually pick up the cardigan. So I got the cardigan in a burgundy. I actually ordered that online and I got the medium. I showed you the small, which I tried on, and it fitted, but it was a little bit snug. Now it was lovely, it was very figure hugging and quite flattering, but just around the top of the hips, just below the waist, it did look a little bit tight. So I've got the medium. I'll show you what that looks like on. So you can see there, it's actually probably a better size for me, that I think. Just to show you close up there, you can see those little buttons. It doesn't pull at all across the chest, and you don't even need to actually open them to get your head through. So I've just been slipping it on like a jumper, but then as I say, it does have this nice detail at the waist where it nips in at the waist, and then we've got a bit of a peplum hem there. Peplum styles are very on trend for things like blazers and tops and things, and that comes in burgundy. It also comes in the dark brown, so I didn't want to overdo the dark brown, and burgundy is still around as a trend this year as well, so I thought I'd get the burgundy one. I think I'm going to keep that. I then got 2 pairs of jogging bottoms. So I did get the black side stripe ones. You can see there, I actually got them in a medium length. The long was definitely too long. You can see drawstring and the elasticated waist. The side stripe is actually more front facing. It's not right on the stripe on the side, so you do actually see the stripe from the front when you're wearing them. So I'll just show you those on there at home now. You can see I think the length is about right on me, but however they're black. I also thought then I should buy a brown pair, and I'm not sure if I'm going to keep both. You can let me know what you think. These are a completely different shape, but I did really like these. The pockets hang really nice and flat even though there's no zip, but they're just in a really nice position, and it's nice and flat along the front and elasticated at the back. And then, as I said, there's a slight sort of barrel tapered leg, they're calling it, I think. So I wasn't sure about the length. In the end I got the long. You can have a look at that there, but I think again it depends what shoes you're going to wear it with. I just felt that the short looked a bit too short, the medium looked a little bit too short, and in the end I went for the long. So I've got a bit of a mixture there. They're both a size 12. but I've got one in the long length and one in the short. Just for reference, I'm 5'7", and I find I'm on the borderline between long and medium, so it's quite tricky sometimes, but it does depend what shoes you're planning on wearing it with. So I thought I'd get the brown anyway. I think that is going to go with a lot of my cream jumpers. Maybe could put the burgundy jumper with either of those possibly. So that might be useful. So that's my 4 things I've actually got here from Marks and Spencer's. It all looks a little bit dark, doesn't it? So I'll just show you one other thing. This is something I picked up in TK Maxx. I've actually got 3 vest top pack here. The really lovely quality. Nice bit of elastane in there, so it does actually fit you really well. And the 3 pack was $16.99. Now it's a brand, what's the brand name called? Oh, Danskin. So looks really lovely, quite substantial, nice and thick, slightly more better for the autumnal weather. And it's this sort of slightly pinky beige and a white one and a black one. So I thought they would be really useful. Might need to get a brown underlayer as well at some point, but I thought these 2 would be really useful with all the outfits I'm creating at the moment. And for $16.99, I thought that was a really good bargain because I don't think I'll be needing the long sleeve ones for quite a while. However, the weather is changing already, isn't it? We've got a lot of wet and windy weather in the UK this week, actually. We had a lovely bank holiday weekend and it's all gone a little bit autumnal now. So we'll see what happens with that. And one thing to note, I was actually looking at the fabric compositions. These items that I purchased, the fabric composition is quite good. So for example, this one here, the jumper was responsibly produced viscose blend. So that was that one. The brown leggings were recycled polyester blend. So again, that's quite good. The black striped ones are responsibly produced viscose rich. And the jacket here is recycled polyester. So they are doing, you know, quite a good job on the fabrics. They're trying to make sure a lot more of their fabrics include recycled elements and things. In fact, most of the fabric is recycled. So just to let you know on fabric composition, there are a few things on the website that are just cited as 100% polyester, and it doesn't say anything else. So I don't know whether on the labels they would actually say more about that or whether they're just not recycled. I really don't know. But these items, I did actually check the fabric just to make sure. I'm trying not to buy just 100% polyester where possible, not always possible, but it looks like the fabrics are pretty good there. And I'm not sure if I told you all the prices. The jumper was £36. The brown leggings were £30. The black leggings were £36, however I used my voucher for that, so I only paid £30. And the jacket is £59. So that's what I've bought at the moment. Please let me know if you think I should keep any of those items or not. I'm not sure about the leggings at the moment. Might only keep 1 pair. And last week I was talking about seasons, and I asked you all what was your favourite season and what month were you born in, because I had this theory that people always like the season that they were born in. So I'll tell you the results now. So 25% of people who replied actually prefer the season that they were actually born in. 25% of you preferred the season you're born in and another season as well. So for example, born in April, you like spring and autumn. Another 50% of people actually liked a season that was totally not the season they were born in. So if we sort of group those, it's almost 50-50. You know, 50% of people love the season they're born in, 50% don't, basically. And nobody liked winter. So that surprised me in a way, because I know some of you, you know, you love the Christmas season. I did think I might get 1 or 2 people who preferred winter because of Christmas. However, it seems to be spring and autumn are really popular. And unfortunately, my theory seems to be only sort of true 50% of the time. And a lot of people do seem to prefer spring and autumn in this country. I think sometimes the summers are getting a bit too hot for some of us, so spring and autumn was really popular. But thank you for letting me know your views and your preferences. That was nice. Obviously, we're doing a lot on autumn wardrobes now. You may have seen that video last week. It was all about how to dress trans-seasonally. It's this video. Not as many of you watch that as watch my M&S video, so I would recommend this. You know, it's all very well buying lots of clothes, but you need to know how to introduce those into your wardrobe. So that video is on trans-seasonal outfits and how to actually take your summer outfits and gradually turn them into autumn appropriate outfits. So once again, thank you so much for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed my trips to Marks and Spencer's. You do have to be on the ball with M&S at the moment. They are selling out fast, a lot of these items, and particularly the middle sizes. You know, if you want a medium or a 12 or a 14, you do have to be there. And I would really recommend going into store. As I said, a lot of the items seem to be selling out online. But they are available in store. So it's a bit hit and miss. You might need to do a couple of trips, but well worth it. The value, the quality compared to the price point, I think is still excellent. I don't really think you can beat it actually at the moment on the high street. So I am bearing with M&S with their sort of teething problems getting back to normal functioning again. And thank you so much for joining me again. I hope you have a good week, and I look forward to you watching me hopefully next week when I'll have another video for you. So thank you and goodbye.